The 10 most fearless animals on the planet. With so many fearsome and impressive creatures in the world, finding the most fearless is a daunting task. Still, we've got a solid 10 most fearsome animals in the world that are sure to hit all the highlights. Some of these may surprise you, but all of these animals are extremely aggressive and don't back down from a fight. Number 1. Baboon. They may not look it, but baboons can be a bit of a handful if you come face to face with one. They can cause plenty of harm to humans and other animals, so best keep your wits about you if one crosses your path. There are technically 5 different species of baboon. They are all very similar in characteristics and only really vary in size and color. They all have very long snouts and very powerful jaws that are filled with very sharp teeth. They have thick fur that covers their bodies, except their faces and bottoms. In fact, they look like they have a bare bottom and should be wearing pants. Depending on species and gender, a baboon can weigh anywhere between 30 pounds to 100 pounds. If you see one baboon, you're likely to see more, as they often travel in groups of up to 50. These groups are called troops. When traveling like this, it is very unlikely that they will attack a human. But if said human were to interrupt or antagonize any of the troop, then things can quickly turn ugly. The larger males of the troop will bare their teeth and charge if you don't back away. And with powerful jaws that can break bones, a charging baboon is something you really should avoid. Number 2. Rhino. It's quite intriguing to see the more intimidating side of the rhino. They are very solidly built and can wreak havoc if prompted. The giant horn in the middle of their head will do some damage, but the pure force and weight behind their charges are something to be feared by all who attempt to go up against them. With a pretty hefty history of human casualties and animal attacks, there is plenty of reason to keep your distance. For some, however, they didn't get the chance. A clip was shot a while back at a Mexican safari park. In the clip, a family are spending some quality time together roaming the wild in an SUV. It all seemed pretty relaxed until a rhino comes out of nowhere and begins to try to knock the SUV over. The family try to escape, but the rhino is very persistent and extremely determined to flip their vehicle. According to officials, this erratic behavior was unusual, but linked to the mating season. The rhino caused some serious damage to the SUV. However, the family were pretty good sports, admitting that the whole safari experience was new, enlightening, and entertaining. I bet they had quite the tale to tell their friends and family when they returned home. Number 3. Manic mongoose. If you weren't convinced that a mongoose could be a deadly animal, then check out some clips on YouTube. There are countless videos that depict mongooses going after creatures that are built so much bigger than they are, but they don't care. There is one encounter that really must be discussed, and that is when footage of a mongoose clashing with a black mamba was captured and posted. The black mamba is easily one of the most dangerous and venomous snakes in the world. They are responsible for countless deaths, both animal and human, due to how quickly they attack and the rate in which the venom spreads in the victim. In the video, the snake sits still in the center of the shot. The mongoose initially knows it's there, but seems to be pretending it's not. The encounter heats up very quickly, with the snake becoming very aggressive, while the mongoose seems to be running circles around it and its constant attempts to bite it. The snake gets tired for the waiting game, moving in for the kill. The mongoose quickly replies with rapid-fire reflexes, absolutely cleaning the snake's clock, snapping it in one massive bite. Brave, stupid, or just plain lucky? I guess we'll never know, because something like this is probably unlikely to be repeated. Number 4. African Cape Buffalo. African buffaloes are reportedly known to kill more hunters than any other being within the confines of Africa. Many stories have emerged around how they go about their attacks, often at times ambushing hunters and wounding them during expeditions. Even though they are mostly grazers, the Cape buffalo often keep an eye out for shrubs and forbs as well. The buffaloes live in separate herds, away from others, as they can be territorial. They won't shy away from defending their zones either, with things getting quite tense at times. Trophy hunters consider the buffalo to be a pretty big deal, ranking them in the top 5 catches. They are considered extremely dangerous creatures due to their reputation of circling back. Whilst being hunted, they appear to flee. Unfortunately for the hunter, this is all a part of their master plan, and they double back unbeknown to the hunter, who may end up getting the fright of his life. Worse still, it could end very badly as they can be vicious when cornered. The male buffalo that keeps away from the herd is the most dangerous. Large herds are usually placid under most circumstances and won't attack unless they feel the need to. However, the lone buffalo is hazardous to the hunter and should be avoided where possible. He's the lookout for the herd and not to be messed with. Number 5. Jaguar. There is no need to question why the jaguar is a danger. Just look at it. Its intimidating appearance and very boisterous characteristics make it one of the most feared cats on the planet today. It can catch prey with ease with its insane level of speed and won't shy away from attacking a human should they enter its territory. National Geographic released some pretty dramatic stills in 2013 that depict the process of a jaguar's attack on a completely oblivious caiman in Brazil's Pantanal wetlands. The jaguar clearly knows what it's doing as it very slowly and stealthily approaches its prey. It quietly walks along the riverbank before pouncing on its victim. It takes one quick and vicious bite to the head, which immediately shuts down the caiman's central nervous system, leaving it unable to move or escape. It only took one bite for this predator to disable its prey and provide dinner. Biting the neck is a classic cat movement, but since the caiman doesn't have a visible neck, the jaguar was forced to go for the skull. This guy definitely knows what he's doing. He's pretty much a trained assassin. There have been very few videos and photos emerged since this attack that have depicted anything quite so precise and accurate on behalf of a jaguar. In fact, this could be one of the best examples you'll ever see. Number 6. Alligator. The American alligator is perhaps one of the great stories of endangered species that survived to tell the tale. These creatures were saved from extinction and as of right now are really thriving out in the wild. This came from plenty of work from multiple parties, which enabled the alligators to live freely and safely in their preferred habitats. Fortunately for the alligator, there is less demand for products made from their skin these days, leaving their population rising above 1 million once more. Thanks should be given to the state and federal protection agencies and habitat preservation efforts for making this a possibility in what was once considered to be a losing battle. This alone shows us how fearless these creatures are, because they're able to survive near extinction and come out on top. No surprise, really. We all know what ruthless villains these reptiles are. Pretty much killing machines, they can take on most other animals, including humans, and live to fight another day. Number 7. Cane toad. The cane toad is fearless, alright, but maybe not in the general terms of fearless. What does that mean exactly? Well, we'll get to that, but it's not exactly PG. So, cover your ears if you must.
Hey, wow.
There's a pretty foul study in animals known mainly as Davian behavior. This is a nice way of saying animal necrophilia, and cane toads know all about it. Now, this behavior is usually never intentional and is often a mistake that is made when certain critters don't know if their choice of mate is actually alive. Sure, it's disgusting, but it isn't done on purpose. We'd like to escape this subject just as much as you do, so we'll fire through it quickly. For some reason, we're not sure why, cane toads in particular are more likely to be guilty of this unusual behavior than any other creature on the planet. They have on countless occasions tried to mate with the deceased of their own species, and even with other species, such as snakes, lizards, and even smaller mammals. There was a rather unpleasant case recorded one time, where a cane toad went to mate with a female toad without noticing that it was deceased. Unfortunately for him, his chosen mate had been completely flattened by a car 8 hours prior. Yes, it is a pretty weird fact, but it's a little something that you now know. No need to thank us. You're welcome. Number 8. The Tasmanian Devil. The Tasmanian devil is pretty similar to the wolverine in terms of pop culture. We are aware that these creatures are small mammals, but they can be absolutely lethal if you come across one and are best avoided. There's plenty of images all over the internet that paint these critters to be harmless and pretty darn adorable. But don't be fooled, particularly if you come across a wild one. They can literally be mini psychotic killers. They aren't necessarily known for their ability to fight, but more so for what they are capable of devouring. In fact, they can eat absolutely anything and everything, including meat, fur, and bones. Not a single trace will be left of their victim. It isn't just prey though. Some items that have been recovered from their excrement include pencils, plastic, collars, even tags of devoured pets. These critters have no fear and have occasionally been caught in metal traps, only to chew their way free. They can also consume up to 40% of their body weight in one sitting if they really fancied it. Wow, that's a lot of food. Number 9. Least weasel. Stoats are pretty small fellas, but what they lack in size, they more than make up for in pure grit and fight. These aggressive little fellas, also known as weasels, have been known to punch well above their weight when it comes to stalking and catching their prey. Photographer Graham Dixon witnessed one of these impressive attacks. While he was out on a picnic with his daughter in Hall Bank, Northumberland, Dixon watched on in interest as a stoat began attacking a much larger rabbit. After hearing the distressed squeals of the rabbit, he hurried off to get his camera. What he found was a stoat wrestling a black rabbit in the middle of the road. Not wanting to prolong the poor rabbit's agony, Dixon kept his distance. However, passing cars meant the attack was lengthy, with many stops and starts. In the end, the stoat killed the rabbit in a rather vicious encounter. It was overpowering the rabbit in every way, and once it was done, it dragged its victim into a hedgerow. According to the Wildlife Trust, a stoat could easily kill any rabbit of any size with one quick bite to the base of the skull. So why he made so much drama out of it, we'll never know. Number 10. Golden eagle. The golden eagle easily makes this list for the sole reason that it simply has no fear in the eyes of battle. Even for a bird, these eagles are always punching above their pecking order, whether they are fighting amongst themselves or hunting prey. Golden eagles hunt prey particularly around daylight hours, but that can differ depending on breeding season and weather patterns. A fully grown eagle requires about 230 to 250 grams of food daily, but can go without food for at least a week at best. Wouldn't that be handy? The eagle's talons are ridiculously powerful, as they can exert at least 440 psi of pressure onto their prey. This is 15 times more than the pressure exerted from a human hand. Eagles can lift well over their own body weight during flights, and have preyed upon animals like rabbits, cats, deer, and on some rare occasions, eagles have attempted to make mincemeat out of the likes of bears and other large animals. Though not always successful in doing so, the golden eagle is for sure the most powerful and fearless living bird on the planet. Thank you for watching. You've been watching Top Quick Peek. We'll see you next time.